Crushing. Now, working in the work environment, people get to a point where they see a colleague that they actually like. It's called crush, but they really don't know how to even approach the person. Today, the series is getting exciting. I'm going to have to share some few tips on what to do if you realize that you are crushing on your colleague. So you are crushing on your colleague, or someone is crushing on the colleague and don't know what really to do. Now, this is easy, but before then, let me tell you the story. It's a story of Ijeoma and Kola. Ijeoma just came into the organization. So she came into the organization, she met Kola there, and then for some reasons they fell on her. She was liking Kola, but she wasn't sure if Kola was going to reciprocate the love. She also didn't want to be embarrassed. Besides, we live in a society where culturally it was believed that it is the guy who has to make the approach, but she loved him. And so she had to find a way to start talking to Kola. What she did is that one day she was working on something, and then she asked Kola if Kola can kindly wait behind so that she could help in doing some work, because a car was broken down and she needed a lift since towards her way. Kola obliged and accepted. So while there, she told Kola what feeling they're feeling towards him. It was slightly awkward. And what Kola didn't know what to do. I guess probably he was being culturally driven. He didn't want to accept first that she actually make the approach. So what happens is that eventually they went out for lunch, and over lunch, as they continue, then one day, 2010, Kola and Ijeoma came and then gave us an announcement that they were going to be married, and then they were happily married now, having 2 children, about to get a 3rd one. So because we live in an environment, we work in the office, love is bound to happen. And when it happens, how do you go about it? If you're crushing on your colleague, how do you discreetly pursue the colleague? I'm going to have to share some few tips as to how you can discreetly pursue a colleague. The first tip is the first thing to do, if you have common friends, or if that colleague has friends that you can reach out to, let them be the soft balling persons. Approach them and let them be, they will be able to help you find out if this person is actually interested in you or not. That could help, or they could find a way to convey your message of love to them, and that could also help. Number 2, make subtle approach. What Ijeoma did was a subtle approach. She said, okay, come on, please stay behind. I'm working on my car is not well. Can you please give me a lift? I was in secondary school, so I read the story of a student who had to ask another student to help, to get the notebook so that she could copy it from, and that was how the chemistry and the works are there. So you could make a subtle approach. If you make the subtle approach and the person responds back in reciprocation, that means that there's a likelihood that a chemistry is about to take place. Who knows, it might end up in happily ever after. The third thing will be to find a common ground for outing. It could be lunch, coffee, or buying or getting some ideas in regard to what to buy for an occasion, for someone personal for you or so. That will be able to build a ground, and this is a great way to get to actually know each other, because in that process you will talk, you will chat, you refer to one thing or the other. That could help. The 4th thing will also be have clear intention. If you are going into that feeling and that adventure and that moment just to be able to have fun, catch fun and vibes, you are having the wrong intention. If you are just feeling infatuated, give yourself some time to catch the breath and know if it's infatuation or love. And if you are not honest, if you don't have ideas and thought for to lead to something lasting and something of a marriage, then back off. because you may be affecting the future of someone's potential spouse, potential husband, or potential wife. Don't make things awkward at work. I have seen instances where somebody actually is crushing on someone and the person has been trying, was one jealous of any other male child that was coming around the person. And so it was a bit embarrassing. Please, 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 please. It's important to remain polite. It's important to remain dignified. And even if you were in a relationship and it broke off, please, you still have to understand that this person was first human and in this organization before you. In the future, I'm going to do a video on how really to behave if you keep seeing your ex in the workplace. And the last thing, be prayerful. Be prayerful. Be prayerful. Prayer is the key. Prayer is important. And finally, I will want to first give you a disclaimer. I am not a relationship expert, and everything that I'm telling you is based on life stories that I've experienced, advices that I've given to some people. And so if you follow this tip, they'll be able to help you deal with a situation where you find yourself crushing on a colleague in the workplace. That is what I have to say. And if you feel that my ideas, my thought did not do justice to it, please, I will appreciate to borrow from your knowledge. This is where we have the comment section below. Kindly send your comment, kindly inform us so that we will see how to add to that another person's goal. And once again, I'm Ansel, your career breakthrough site